This is Access Module 3, End of Module Project 2. And I have already taken the liberty of downloading my file and changing the 1 to a 2 at the end of it. And I've also uploaded my file side by side with the instructions. In this module, there's a lot of things to read about how to set up a database, different database structures, data types, several different ways of doing calculated fields or total rows. Some of that is incorporated in this project, but there are other things that are in the actual textbook project that we don't have time to go through, but it's really important that you go ahead and read that chapter. Okay, so let's get started here. With step 1, as we work with Rural Health Associates as a healthcare company, we are their information specialist, and so the records in the additional staff table need to be appended or added to the professional staff table. Create an append query to append the records, save the query as append staff, run it, and then view it. Let's see if make sure I can see the numbers but see everything here. So the tables that we are working with are the additional staff, which need to be appended to the professional staff. So we want to create an append query. So we'll go to query design. We're going to choose the additional staff table. Oops, I've added it too many times. This is a good thing. If you ever accidentally add it twice, you'll see an _1. If you just select that one and hit the delete, it'll take that off of there for you. Now I will probably have to go to a full mode so that you can see everything, because everything scrunched up here is a little bit difficult to find what we're looking for. So we are going to append the records that are here in this additional staff. And I'm just going to open that up really quickly to show you there are 5 records. And then I'm just going to close it that we're appending to the professional staff. So now that we have our query, we need to tell it that we want to create an append query. So I'm going to blow this up, and I need to select all of the fields, and then I just want to show you professional staff for a second. Staff ID, first name, last name, position, clinic ID. The fields have to be in the same order for both of these two different tables, and they need to be the same data types. So we would be normally comparing the data types that are here, the sizes, if there are any sizes, they need to match exactly the additional staff. So if you would open up additional staff and you take a look at its design view, you would see it's the same fields, the same data types, and as you were to go through those, you would have the same field sizes and so forth. So I'm going to close those out now. I just wanted to show those to you. Okay, so we've got all of these that we want to append. Let's see here. Let's go to Query Tools Design, and we have the append button here. But first and foremost, I think they wanted us to name this, so let's just pull that up really quickly. We're going to name it append staff, so let's do that first. So we'll call it append staff using camel casing. Okay, and then you have an update query type update button in the query type group in your query tools on the ribbon. So we're going to click on that, and we're going to run it. Now it must have at least one destination field. That's good to know. It should have asked me about that. Okay, there it is. That's what I was expecting to see. Okay, append to table professional staff, and just need to go down to the bottom, and it's in our current database, so we just say OK. And you'll see how it's appending to the same things there. Okay, append to. And then we should be able to run it. You are about to append 5 rows. Yes, I do want to do that. Now I'm going to save my append staff query and I'm going to close it, but I want to go open up professional staff, because if you look at the bottom, these last 5 records are the records that we got from Mendoza as a last name to Rojas. So you can tell that we actually appended those records to this destination table. So now we'll close that out. Next, I may just leave this open in the background. Open the family table in Design View and delete the county field. Change the data type for the income field to currency with 0 decimal places. Save the changes to the table. So open family in Design View. So we can right click on it and choose Design View. And we want to get rid of the county field. So we're going to click on the county field selector. And if you just right click on it, you'll see that you can delete that row. Are you wanting to permanently delete this? We've double checked and they said yes. Now let me pull open the anything else we have to do here. Okay, change the data type for the income field to currency 0 decimal places. So the income type right now is number, and we want to switch that to currency. So we can click here in the box and we can choose currency from the pull down. It also said that we need to make sure that it's a currency field and it has 0 decimal places. I like to go ahead and click on the format, because format also has currency. And then I'm going to change that decimal places, backspace off the 2, type the 0. And then all I need to do is to save this. And it says some data may be lost, and we understand that because we have removed the county field and we have changed the type of the income. But we know already it's going to be good, so I just want to switch to Datasheet View, and I'm going to look at income, and there's no decimal places in the income, and I do no longer see the county field. So I shouldn't have to save anything on that, so I'll just close it. Now, step 3, deleting records in the family table. And this is going to use a where clause. So what happens is, in using this query to delete records in the family table where income field is greater than 55,000, save the query as delete high income and then run it and view it. So use a query to delete records. Family table. So create, query design, family, close out the show table box, resize so you can see everything. If I can get my, there I go, now I can see it. Let's see, what else did they tell me? Which ones do I have to delete? Okay, we want to do that where the income field is greater than 55,000. Okay. So we're going to put a criteria after we add these fields, and we really only have to add the field income. And we want to click on the delete so we can add the delete with the where clause there. And then in the criteria box we're going to type in, and I always double check myself here, greater than 55,000. So the greater than symbol and then 55,000. And then we're supposed to name it, let me see what we save it as. Delete high income. Okay. So I'll say OK there. And then I'm going to run it and hope that it runs correctly. It says I'm about to delete a record, so I'm going to say yes. Now that was in the family, so I'm going to double click on family and open it up and just see if I'm missing a record. Now before we had 26 records, now we have 25. And if I look over here at the income, there's nothing greater than 55,000. So I successfully deleted that record. I probably should have looked at the record before we started so you could see we had one. So I'll just save that query and I'll close it. Now let's take a look at the next. Okay, open the clinic table in Design View. Create a validation rule for the state field that ensures only the values of Idaho, Montana, Oregon, or Washington are entered in the field, and then enter must be Idaho, Montana, Oregon, or Washington as the validation text, and then save the changes to the table. And we'll leave that table open. So we're going to open clinics. No, I think we'll close it after that. Open clinics in Design View. And bear with me as I go back and forth here. Create a validation rule for the state field. So you want to click on the state field to make it the active field. And down here in the field properties, there is a validation rule, and then there's validation text. Now, we type equal ID, lowercase or, equal MT in all caps, and then or, and then we have equal, I forgot which one comes next. I think it's Oregon and then Washington, but let me double check. Oregon, then Washington. Capital OR and then lowercase or and then equal WA. And then in the validation text, you're supposed to type in must be ID, comma, space, let me get that out of the way, MT, comma, space, OR, comma, space, then lowercase or WA. Now, let's see what else we're supposed to do, just to make sure we have it ready. So we've created the rule, we've added the text, we're going to save the changes to the table. So I'll come back here, and I'm going to save the changes. Now it says that data integrity rules have been changed and existing data may not be valid for the rules. This is okay, it's just letting us know that we changed some things, that characteristics of what state can be. Excuse me. Let's see here. Let's just view it now. So these are the clinics. Notice it's Idaho, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana. Now I'm just going to put in, well, before I do that, I'm just going to double check to see what this is. It is a number field, so it's not an auto number field. I have to key something in for, and you don't have to do this step, I'm just verifying that it works, okay? So I'm just going to put a big old number in here, that way I know it's a dummy record, and then I'm going to put Kentucky in that field, and I'm going to tab, and then here's where it tells me. This is how you're checking your validation rule. There's your text, must be ID, MT, OR, or WA. So I'll click on OK, and I can't get out of this record till I get rid of Kentucky in there. Now I need to actually get rid of this record, so I'll go ahead and let it be entered in, quote unquote. Then I go back and right click on that little record selector or row selector and delete the record. Yes, I'm sure I want to delete that. You didn't have to do those steps. I was just demonstrating how you could verify that it was working. Now at this point we're going to stop the video, and we'll pick up with a second video to finish it out.